Hi everyone, how are you today? I hope you are feeling well, staying safe and healthy. In this lesson, I'm going to talk to you about micro-teaching skill of introduction. I will divide the video into two sections. First, I will give brief overview of the definition of micro-teaching skill of introduction. Then, I will talk to you about the components of micro-teaching skill of introduction. After that, I would like to ask you some questions to review the lesson. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, now let's talk about micro-teaching skill of introduction. Micro-teaching skill of introduction is also known as the skill of set induction. It is related to the beginning of class teaching. If the beginning of class teaching is effective, then the outcomes of the teaching learning process can be estimated very clearly. In this skill, the teacher is very active and creative. The teacher has to grab the student's attention in the teaching learning process. He or she creates such an environment that they can start the lesson very effectively. For set induction, teachers ask a set of questions to students related to their previous knowledge in order to come with the learning topic. Questions are designed in such a way that the maximum number of students can respond to them. This makes students active in class, and their interest can be seen by the beginning of the class. Teachers use lots of tricks and tactics for starting the lesson in the class. Then, I would like to talk to you about components of micro-teaching skill of introduction or set induction. The techniques are related to a number of components, or the introductory questions are related to its components, which are as follow. Number 1. Previous knowledge. During setting the introductory questions, teacher should take care of the previous knowledge of students. These questions are very important for starting a new lesson among students. Sometimes, the teacher starts by showing some objects related to the topic, and sometimes asks questions related to previous knowledge. The questions should be designed in such a way that maximum students know the answer to them, and questions must be interesting so the students give the attention in class. Number 2. Proper sequencing. The ideas, questions, and statements which are made for starting the lesson should have coordination. Otherwise, students can be misleading in the classroom. Questions should be arranged in proper sequencing. Number 3. Objectives and teaching aids. Learning objectives are very important. Teaching aids are designed in order to create interest in classroom teaching so that the students keep attention in class. The teaching methods or teaching aids are always related to the learning objectives which are previously set. Nowadays, very creative teaching learning method is being used by teachers for classroom teaching. In doing so, all students will keep attention in class and the rate of learning will be enhanced. Attractive teaching aids always work well and develop creativity in students. By the use of teaching learning method or teaching aids, students do not feel monotonous. They learn with joy and motivation. Next, number 4. Relationship between contents, statements, and objectives. This is very important for a teacher. that there should be a relation between his or her statement and learning objectives. Otherwise, students cannot make any judgment about the teaching topic. One more thing, the teacher's statement must be related to objectives. Otherwise, the teaching topic will not come out properly among students. Next, number 5, duration of introduction. The duration of introduction must not be too short and too long. It must be in such a way that the students take interest and get motivated enough so that a teacher can start the lesson. The last component is number 6, the capability of creating interest and motivation. The teacher must have the capability of creating interest and motivation among students. In short, teacher must be a good motivator too. This is very important point for pre-service teacher who are under training. During the teaching motivation and a good classroom environment, it can enhance the rate of the learning. This is because students get motivated and then participate in the teaching learning process. Okay, now it is time for you to have question and answer time. My first question would be like this one. What are your tricks and tactics for starting lesson in the class? Leave your response on the comment below, and I hope you can answer it correctly. So then I'll give you thumbs up. Alright, now I would like to ask you the second question. Okay, the second question would be, could you give an example of introducing the lesson by using these phrases? As you can see here, there are several phrases that you may use on your lesson. The beginning of the lesson, the introduction, time to begin, register, and late. Have a look at the following phrase carefully so then you can learn something from the following classroom language. For the second question, I would like you to give an example by using the following phrase. And also the next phrase. During the lesson, classroom management, error connection, and special situation. Probably because the topic of this video is introduction, so then you may use some phrases which probably can be implemented on your introductory of your lesson. Keep in your mind that several phrases may be used in the middle of the lesson or maybe in the beginning of the lesson. Alright, my students, remember, there are 2 questions that you need to answer in the following video. The first question is, what are your tricks and tactics for starting lesson in the class? And then the second question is, could you give an example of introducing the lesson by using this phrase? The beginning of the lesson and during the lesson. Okay, I think that's all for the video of the lesson in this opportunity, and now it is time for you to answer my questions. Leave your response in the comment of this video. Let's review our lesson today. You learn the definition of microteaching skill of introduction as well as its components. You also need to answer my questions in the review of this lesson. Just leave your response on the comment below. I think that's all, my students. I hope you can learn something new in this video, and we'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.